doing this A&E documentary. I didn't have to do anything on the kickoff show last night, and I see everybody on Twitter. Everybody on Twitter was like, "Man, what's book? You know what I mean? We want book. We want to see some shaky, naked, quack, quack moments. You know what I mean?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, don't worry. I will be back. Ain't no doubt about that, Jack." But I tell you, it was an awesome night. Actually, just being around the boys, hanging out, man, I must have laughed all day long, man, because I was just, I don't know. It seemed like comedy hour, comedy hour when I'm at the building hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
But it was cool, man. Only thing I had to do was some stuff with Kofi. We had a little sit down and whatnot. We shot it, for the documentary, which was real cool. Just hung around, watched him, work and whatnot. And then I had to blow up out of that. After that, man, I was like, man, I got to get out of here, man. The main event is getting ready to come up. This ladder match, man. Money in the Bank, baby, Money in the Bank. Whoever wins this match gets the Money in the Bank contract. And I was like, man, this thing could be quick. So let me get out of here because the fans gonna be pouring out of here, man. I'm talking about it. Like I say, it was sold out to the rafters.
So you want to get in all that traffic.
I didn't want to be in none of that traffic, man. I mean, the
you.
hotel was about 15 minutes away, man. So I said, I got time to go get some sleep. Plus, I say, the main event is coming up, and I can watch it on the app. It always looks better on the app.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you ride down the highway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm going to watch this thing on the app and finish it off. But as I'm getting ready to walk out the back door, I'm walking out, and next thing you know, I see Paul Heyman. He's walking by me. The match is, going on, I think, already. And then next thing you know, Brock Lesnar. And earlier, it was crazy. I saw Paul Heyman. I said, "Hey, man, Paul, what's up? UFC thing. It's dead, huh?" He goes, "It's dead. But I assure you, he's very happy." I say, "Okay, that's cool." All right. So when I saw him later on, like I said, I'm walking out the back door. Him and Brock walking in. Now Brock's sweating. He's sweating like he in the Sahara Desert. I mean, it's coming down. It's coming down. He's got a hoodie on, and he's got them black UFC gloves on. You know what I mean? Like he's ready to go. Like he's going to a UFC fight. I'm like, brother, what are you thinking? You better calm down. You know what I mean? And boom, he walks by me, and then before I even get to the hotel, I found out Brock Lesnar won the Money in the Bank contract, and he got the briefcase. So what does this mean for Kofi Kingston? That's the question.
Well, I mean, that's what they're looking at Raw this morning. I mean, this evening they saw Kofi and Seth, and I think as we're speaking right now, they're in a match together. And Brock said he was sticking around to see what happens. So.
Hey, well, right now, that's the question. You know what I mean? What's gonna happen? I mean, of course he can cash it in on Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? But me personally, I'm going for the wounded little fish. That's flailing around in the water that, and you can play with them a little bit. You know what I mean? You can, you splash them a little bit. Kind of like Arca does the seal.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. I don't know.
We have seen Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston before. If you remember the Beast in the East when they went over to Japan, Brock Lesnar wrestled Kofi Kingston.
What happened?
I think it was about a minute and a half.
Yeah. See,
and Brock won.
That's what I'm saying. But
that wasn't
one thing about it. Yes, what I'm saying. Kofi is much more seasoned. Now he's much more experienced. So now
he's a champ.
It could be a different story. It could be a different story.
Would you like? But in all seriousness, would you like to see that matchup, Brock Lesnar, Kofi Kingston? You think that's a good matchup going forward, like just from a fan perspective?
That's a good matchup for Brock Lesnar. If I was Brock Lesnar, I'd say, give me that match. I'll take that match. Yeah. I was watching Prograis just a couple of days ago, boxer.
Regis Prograis.
Yeah, Regis Prograis. And he's fighting in this tournament. And they asked him, well, which one do you want? And he goes, well, I tell you what. I'll take both of them on and give them both 6 rounds apiece. I'll knock them both out and have 2 more knockouts on my record.
So maybe Brock should challenge both champions.
Exactly.
They should cash in on both of them.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Now, a lot of fans were upset by Brock getting the briefcase because he came in the last 30 seconds after the guys took all these crazy bumps, Finn Balor, Ricochet included. He comes in the last 30 seconds, grabs a briefcase. Fans were upset. What do you say?
Man, I can't speak for the fans.
All right.
I can't speak, what I mean, as far as the fans liking and disliking something as far as Brock Lesnar go. Now, of course, we thought Brock Lesnar was gone. We thought Brock Lesnar was going to be heading back to the UFC, taking on Daniel Cormier, becoming the new UFC heavyweight champion, or not. But that's what we thought. And, people were so happy to see Seth Rollins, get in that position just because they knew Seth Rollins was going to be here on a weekly basis. Seth Rollins doesn't have the backing, of a Paul Heyman, a guy who's, negotiating contracts and, how much time we get off and whatnot and how much work we put in throughout the, and people can get frustrated, especially fans. Now Brock Lesnar is back and he's got the briefcase in his hand. The odds as far as cashing the briefcase in is about 98%.
It's something like that. I think only 2 people have ever cashed
Exactly
in.
Exactly my point.
Maybe 3.
So if we had 100 people, 2 hadn't cashed in, that's 98%. All right.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, Brock Lesnar, his chances of becoming champion again is likely than not. Very, very soon. And the thing is, will we see him on a weekly basis? Will it go back to, the way it was over the past year or so? I don't know. People are upset about it, but that's business.
But don't you think when Brock still comes out, he still feels special?
When Brock come out of the curtain, man, I've said it many, many times. I've said it many times, and I don't know. It's a different way right now. But I say when these young guys that back in the day, I can't speak for right now. Okay, but let's talk about 8 years ago, something like that, when a pay-per-view would come around and then The Rock would show up at the pay-per-view, and he would get the main event bill, of course, and a lot of the young guys, it was even back then, it was always some rumblings going around saying, man, why is this guy back? You know what I mean? It's because he's a draw. He's a huge draw, and until you can become a huge draw like that, come along for the ride and enjoy it more than anything. And then the question going to be posed, well, how can I become a big star like that? That's the question. You know what I mean? I'm no, magic man or anything like that. I can't tell you that, but I do know there is a thin line between the stars and the guys who don't become quite stars. It's a very, very thin line. I was just listening on the way here, I was listening to the brother before us, and he was talking about Draymond Green, not being, perhaps not as good as Steph Curry, may not be as good as, this guy, that guy, but he's a guy that, if it wasn't for him, we might not be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is that.
He's a glue guy.
He's that Dennis Rodman on the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you play your role, and you might get a championship. And Jerry, weigh in on this.